Real quick before we start the stream itself, I just want to say sorry for the late stream. I wanted to get a stream out to you guys today, but I've been real busy, so yeah. Alright, welcome back to HAZCAR. Car of Tomorrow series, the William Penn 325. Sitting on the pole today, it is none other than Trevor Bayne with Carl Edwards on the outside. That will give Bayne, I believe, his 7th pole on the year. Bayne has been a real rocket man this year. He's been scoring lots of poles, hasn't really converted them to wins. Behind him is David Gilliland, and on his outside, it's Tyler Reddick. Then row 3 is Montoya and Regan Smith. Looking back, Kurt Busch is thankfully back after last week's huge incident in Kansas. He was okay. He got out the car just fine. Was a little rattled, but went away by the end of the day, according to him. And on the inside, his brother Kyle. Isn't that just fitting? And then, to round out the top 10, it's Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte in the 47. Now, let's look back here to row 12. It is to row 7. It is Robbie Gordon, last week's winner. He won under caution after a bit of a mishap, we'll say. Carl Edwards kind of had that one snatched out from him. I plan to see, honestly, the 21 has shown to be very quick at Pocono. It's a unique track. It's the Tricky Triangle. Model Cap starts just in front of Dale Jr. Brad Keselowski way back here, right in front of Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman. And starting at the very back today, it is Travis Kvapil. JJ Yaley is starting today. Someone isn't starting. It's one of our back markers. Let's see if we can maybe figure out who that is. It looks like Kevin Harvick will not start in today's race. Kevin Harvick misses out on starting the race today. Qualified 43rd out of 42 spots, unfortunately. Sad qualifying for the 29. Kevin Harvick will not be starting today. That gives JJ Yaley at least another starting spot, finally. Moving forward through the field. Back up through the field. Regan Smith won a stage in Kansas, proved he has the speed, but can he convert that speed to a win? He's fast. He's just not the fastest. I think that's the 78's problem, is that they're fast, they're just not the fastest. They're not as fast as they could be. Of course, I have my Chase Briscoe hat on. Actually, let me put this on. Hold on. Put my Chase Briscoe hat on. There we go. Much better. I look bald. My apologies. I'm getting a little sidetracked. So yeah, let's just get this race started. It's a 52-lap race here in Pocono today. As we pace at 70 miles per hour. Oh, that didn't happen.
Drivers, cars.
As they come off of turn 2. Yeah, they're still over there. And so, in turn 3 now, of course, it's a very big track, so 70 mile per hour pace speed makes sense. Super speedway length. And so, as we come off of turn 4, pace car, our man is going to make his way onto pit road, leaving the road wide open for Trevor Bayne on pole to lead us to the green flag in Pocono. It's the William Penn 325. What are we doing? As Carl Edwards is on the outside of Trevor Bayne. Gilliland behind. Gilliland looked to make a pass on Trevor Bayne. Just can't quite do it. Regan Smith passes Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards falls way back with Tyler Reddick there on the outside. Now Gilliland and Trevor Bayne running away with it. Regan Smith holding on to what is third place, fighting Carl Edwards for that third place spot. But here in turn 2, you want to have the outside run unless you've got enough of a run on the back straightaway to make that inside work. It's a very technical track here in Pocono. Are my stages not working? No biggie. We'll run with it. I'll just do the stages myself. Yeah. So stage and lap 17. Stage and lap 35. 17 and 35. As here goes Trevor Bayne to the outside, Gilliland on the bottom. They're side by side coming to turn 3. Carl Edwards just behind them looking to feed off of this. As Edwards, a huge dive down the bottom. They're still side by side coming off of turn 3 onto the front straightaway now. Gilliland and Bayne. Bayne holding on to it. Carl Edwards comes way down to the bottom of the racetrack. As they're as Carl Edwards is going to look to pass David Gilliland and maybe even Trevor Bayne. Look at this, he's going to have a huge run onto the back straightaway coming off of turn 2. But maybe it dies out. And Trevor Bayne still holds him off. These three are running away with it yet again. They love to do this. Love to run away with that front fight. Let's look back through the field a bit, because we've got some stuff going on back here. Look at this, Brian Keselowski on the inside of Kvapil, or where's something we can look at. Look at this little small pack here right behind the leaders. Regan Smith, oh look, Gilliland fell back. Now it's up to Carl Edwards to pass Trevor Bayne, but he just can't get the run. He just can't get the run that he needs onto the back stretch to send it down his inside. Look at this though, Regan Smith on the outside of Kyle Busch, Reddick the same on Montoya. And as Model Cap is right here, he sits behind Jamie McMurray. They are P22 there. 3 wide behind them, Terry Labonte, Casey Kane, and Clint Boyer. They break out of it. Joey Logano looking to send it again though. Take them back 3. Logano playing it risky. They're 3 wide behind them. Some good stuff here in Pocono. Better than we originally expected. As we're still 3 wide. Ryan Newman with a huge send down to the bottom. Nearly hits the back of Casey Kane. That could have been a disaster. Of course, you don't want to get spun down to the inside here at Pocono coming off of turn 2, because you're going to hit that inside wall hard. And I mean really hard, especially if you hit it right. That could be the end of your career. It's just looming off of turn 2 as Carl Edwards has passed Trevor Bayne for the lead of the race. And we fan out mostly single file, still racing well back here though. Look at this, Ryan Newman not being afraid, so neither is Brad Keselowski as they come onto the back onto the back stretch. And let's look back to the leaders. Yeah, Carl Edwards is now looking to run away with it. Trevor Bayne was trying to sneak away in the early running, but now he's fallen back into the clutches of the 34. As they come past the start-finish line and into turn 1. look back here. Jeff Gordon on the outside. Keselowski down the bottom. Stevie Wallace making an aggressive move. Down, pushes Keselowski wide. As Trevor Bayne is on the inside of Carl Edwards. Is that send hard enough? Who knows? They're both keeping their foot in it. Trevor Bayne and Carl Edwards are side by side on the front straightaway. David Gilliland looking to make it 3 wide on the bottom here. Gilliland gonna pass Trevor Bayne. Of course, you want to be on the bottom here in turn 1. I think in turn 1 you want to take the bottom. In turn 2 you want to take the top. And in turn 3 you want to also take the top. There's a bit of an alternating line here in Pocono. I think the more banking there is, the more you want to be on the bottom. Because the more you can hold your speed. Here you see Gilliland looking to pass. Carl Edwards can't quite get the speed, the build-up. It's just not working for him. Oh no, and look at this. Brian Vickers hard hit in the wall with Greg Biffle, Andy Lally in it as well. And Marcos Ambrose brought into it with Travis Kvapil. What happened? Caution comes out. Carl Edwards takes it to the line. A huge incident in turn 2. We knew an incident would likely occur in turn 2. And it did. Let's see. So Keselowski down on the bottom pushes Vickers way up high into Greg Biffle. Hard hit into the safer barrier. Thankfully, though, no flip. Because that could have been real bad. So caution will come out. Lap 7. As we are approaching the end of stage 1 already. And as everyone comes down pit road. And as Carl Edwards and Trevor Bayne, they're going to be the ones fighting to get off of the pits first. I think Trevor Bayne may have a bit advantage having the first pit stall. Edwards off of his pit box first. And Trevor Bayne, slow in the pits, gets out behind Kyle Busch. If he keeps having slow stops like that, it's not going to be a good day for the 21 for the Wood Brothers. What did I say? 17 and 35. Lap 17 and lap 35. Yeah, the stages just aren't working for some reason. Couldn't tell you why. We'll go lap 18 and 35 just in case it's just not showing me the numbers, but actually I'll just close it out. No point in having it open. Okay. Lap 17 and lap 35. Need to remember that. And so as we are 1 to green here in Pocono, no lapped traffic means no issues. Moving to the back of the field. And I think into turn 2 maybe we might go 3 wide. 83 obviously out. Hopefully he's alright. Should be alright. Of course, with the soft construction of these cot cars in conjunction with the safer barrier on the outside there, he should be alright, but we'll see as we're double file. We are just double file, just a third of a lap away from green. And as they come off of turn 3, I keep wanting to say turn 4, but there is no turn 4. There is no turn 4. And as they come off of turn 3, there's going to be just 5 to go in stage 1. Edwards and Gilliland now with Regan Smith and Kyle Busch behind them. Gilliland and Edwards just equal, but in turn 1, it's gonna be Edwards with Regan Smith on the bottom, who's gonna get a good run off of turn 1. And he is going to get in front of David Gilliland into turn 2. But Trevor Bayne with a deep dive on down. It's not going to be enough. He's going to slip back. My apologies. We are back. As Carl Edwards has been passed for the lead by David Gilliland with just 2 to go in stage 1. And, Edwards wants to pass Gilliland, won't pass Gilliland. In fact, he may even seize P2 here. Hard charge into turn 2, but he's going to seize P2 to Trevor Bayne, who will get to his outside. Unless, no, no, Bayne may stay ahead here unless Kyle Busch can give a hard enough push to the 99, but he's going to stick it to the bottom of the 99, that Roush car. And Busch is going to go to the bottom. They're 3 wide. Now with just 1 lap to go in stage 1. As the caution is flying. Caution is flying already. As we wait for them to come back to the line, Bayne and Edwards are going to have it close for P2. Probably going to be Edwards. But for stage win here, David Gilliland for Front Row Motorsports is going to come onto the front straightaway. He wins stage 1 at Pocono. Stage 1 win for David Gilliland. That's going to be big. Of course, Gilliland sits third in the standings, so a win, a dominant race today could be the difference maker in the championship lead. Because right now, Carl Edwards sits 32 points ahead of Mark Martin, post Kansas, with 404 points to his name. The only driver to have broken 404 points so far this season, and sits with more points than the with more points than 17 full teams this season. He has more points than Penske. He has more points than a lot of single car teams on this list, but also a lot of multi-car teams on this race. He sits as a driver. He would be in 8th in the Constructors' Championship right now with 404 points, just to put that into perspective. Right now, Roush holds the championship, the Constructors' Championship lead with 918 points to Joe Gibbs' 892. Now, with the inconsistency of the other Roush cars, that may become a problem, as Joe Gibbs has a bit, although they're not out here winning races, the consistency of their cars is definitely higher up in the field. They've got Joey Logano with a race win, who's finishing higher than the other 3 Roush cars. They've got Kyle Busch, and they've got... Oh, who's the third Joe Gibbs car? Oh, they've got Tyler Reddick, who he himself is putting out great performances. Especially today in Pocono, he's running top 10. So the consistency of Gibbs could be the difference maker in the Constructors' battle. But when it comes to the driver's title, I think Edwards just has it down. Unless something goes wrong amidst the playoffs. Of course, with the playoff rules, there's not going to be... And the points deductions and all that, there's not really going to be a way to run away with the championship, per se. Marco Sambros is the only driver to stay off of pit road. An interesting strategy from the number 9, Richard Petty Motorsports. Ford, Gilliland behind, then Montoya, Martin, Bain, Edwards, Busch, Reddick, and Smith, I believe, are your top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and Jamie McMurray also breaks the top 10 apparently. Excuse me. Kurt Busch has fallen very far back. So is Bobby Labonte. This track isn't their strong suit, but it is still, in technicality, an intermediate track at heart, albeit driving much more like an Indianapolis-style super speedway. Whatever the case may be, it's rather unusual for Kurt Busch to be the back of the top 20. I mean, you look at this. Look at that. P17 for Kurt Busch. Not typical for the 22. Usually he's running up in the top 10. And despite his consistent pace, he's not really actually fought for a race win today. He's fought for the race lead. He's got a couple stage wins, but that's about it. I think he has a stage win or 2. I don't even know. I don't think he has any of either. Let me look. Kurt Busch. Where's Kurt Busch? No, he has 0 wins, 0 stage wins. Neither does Kyle Busch. But he has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. Man, even Andy Lally has more than him. Juan Pablo Montoya has more than him. Kurt Busch has to step up his game. go double file. Marcos Ambrose is in the lead, but he's on old tires. He's going to be slow. Gilliland's probably going to run away with this, if I'm going to be honest, unless Trevor Bayne or Carl Edwards can get around the 5:42 and 9 all at once. Yeah. But I have my doubts. And as we come onto the front straightaway, pace car onto pit road. And the green flag will fly in just a moment. Stage 2 back underway. It's going to be lap 35, the end of stage 2. Here comes Trevor Bayne on the inside of Montoya already. Marcos Ambrose incredibly slow. Incredibly slow. Off the start. He's already gone. He's only led laps under caution. And Trevor Bayne already passing Mark Martin. And he is flying ahead to David Gilliland. At least he's trying to. Of course, Mark Martin on that outside, he's holding on to P2. Gilliland may run away with the lead early on here into stage 2. Seen one caution for incident today. Oh, speak of the devil, Clint Boyer in the wall. Ryan Newman, Marcos Ambrose, Dale Jr. brought up in it. Caution will fly as David Gilliland gets it to the line. Man, I just had to say something. But looks like Ambrose was too slow. Newman back into Dale Jr. Turned them all into the wall. That will bring out the third caution of the day. And I don't expect anyone to come down pit road. Oh no, everyone's coming down pit road. Everyone's coming down pit road. That's going to shake things up a bit. Most of the field is coming down pit road anyway. So now Kyle Busch. He sits in P1 under the yellow flag. And with just a lap to the green flag, still no laps traffic, but 3 retirements. Tony Stewart retired with a camshaft issue, and Marcos Ambrose retired after that accident. Clint Boyer still in it. Just barely, but I think now, with look at all these backmarker guys threatening Kyle, trying to quote-unquote threaten Kyle Busch. I think when it comes to stage 2, it's all but Kyle's. This stage is going to go to Kyle Busch, undoubtedly. First stage win of the season for the 18. He almost won Bermuda, but David Gilliland held him off. And man, Bermuda could have been great. Could have really been something special. But pit problems, unfortunately, plagued that race. And then, the Cup Series, the infinite caution. The art of the infinite caution. There's no way I can combat unless I start doing stages manually, which I don't want to do outside of this race. Regardless, Kyle Busch on the inside of Brian Keselowski, the 92 for a KAR Penske. Or not the Penske, the Discount Tire 92. Him and Kyle Busch are going to lead the field onto the front straightaway. And to finish off stage 2, the green flag flies in Pocono once again. Immediately, Mark Martin to the bottom. David Gilliland behind on the outside of Andy Lally. And as we come into turn 1, I think this is going to be, yeah, look at that run that Kyle Busch has got. He is running away with it. He wants to get as far as he can from those leaders while they're still trapped behind the slow guys. David Runeman gets by Keselowski. Of course, that's going to be a bit hard. Unless you're Mark Martin, it's going to be a bit hard to get through the field at this rate without some major risks. And if you're a championship contender or just a race win contender like Tyler Reddick, Trevor Bayne, David Gilliland, Carl Edwards, you're not going to want to take those risks. You're going to make bold moves, but you're not going to want to make incredibly risky moves as Reddick moves up. Now behind Montoya. Mark Martin down to pit road. Reason unknown. Kyle Busch still runs away with it. Oh, and we're on the apron here. I think with slow car in front of us, this is going to give us pack racing. 3 wide behind with Regan Smith. Hopefully nothing happens here. They could very well crash here. They're playing it real risky. 3 wide here at the back of the field. Tyler Reddick breaches the top 5 with Carl Edwards just behind. 4 wide on the front straightaway here in Pocono. And looking to do it into turn 1, but didn't quite manage it. And honestly, that's probably for the best. Let's look up at Carl Edwards and Tyler Reddick. Carl Edwards passed Tyler Reddick. Montoya passed Keselowski and Rudeman. But I think Busch is just going to run away with it. I don't think even Carl Edwards has the speed necessary here at the tricky triangle to reach back to the leader. But that's not what I want to look at until Edwards is like right up behind 18. If he can get to the 18, good for him. If he can't, so be it. The 18 takes the stage. I want to watch the back of this field for all this pack racing. Look at this. 4 wide once again. Almost. I think there's a struggle to take it 4 wide, and that's probably for the best. Model Cap runs almost dead last in the number 80, the GCR 80. It's very clear where their focus is. It's on the Cup Series. They're taking all their sponsorship money from Rev and Go, from Revolting, and they're dumping it into their Cup program. Here now, both Reddick and, what's his name, Edwards, are in the top 5. All of our leaders are now up in the top 10. All of our routine leaders are now up in the top 10. It's Reddick, Gilliland, Bayne, and Edwards. But Kyle Busch is still holding Juan Pablo Montoya off for just another 5 laps. It's a tough, fierce fight by the 18. Caution is out. A big accident involving Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Casey Kane, which will wrap up Stage 2 prematurely. Kyle Busch wins Stage 2. The number 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Probably could have been caught up, at least almost all the way, by Carl Edwards. But, there was just an incident in turn 1. Or in turn 1. Looks like they were 3 wide. Casey Kane and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Kane just kind of came up too high into the 88. Brought them both into the wall. Routine accident here. Brad Keselowski gets a bit of it. Just a small taste of that little accident. As there's even more chaos on the front stretch. Coming to the caution flag. Looks like, yeah, Jamie McMurray turned Joey Logano as they are slowing down to reach pace speed. Joey Logano brake checked the number 1, put him sideways. And the number 20, JGR, while his teammate wins the race, he goes spinning on the front stretch, or wins, not the race, the stage. He goes spinning on the front stretch. So, with the stage is sorted out, I think now we're going to see some fierce competition for the win in the race. Hopefully, in the next 20 or so laps, we can see some good racing. As Brian Keselowski gets off of pit road first, followed by David Rudiman, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Juan Pablo Montoya, Michael Waltrip, Paul Menard, Dave Blaney, David Gilliland, Trevor Bayne, Travis Kvapil, and all the way back behind Jeff Gordon is Carl Edwards. A slow pit stop for the 99, but hopefully with a slightly extended stage 3. The 99 can put to use the abundance of laps in his hands and can bring it back. Stage 2 will be stage 3 will be maximized when it comes to racing. So I think Kyle Busch is definitely still in the cards. Tyler Reddick in it too. Either of these two, a win would do them wonders, but especially Kyle Busch, that could propel him up to compete for the championship lead. Currently sits 18th in the points. Tyler Reddick sits 14th with 220 points. I don't think a single win. I think they would need multiple. But one win is certainly going to help in the grand scheme of things. As we are going double file in turn 2. Brian Keselowski going to line up on the bottom of David Rudiman with the two JGR teammates, Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick behind them. Of course, Michael Waltrip and Juan Pablo Montoya are behind them, and then Paul Menard, Trevor Bayne, Gilliland, and Blaney. But I have my eyes on Kyle Busch for the race lead, for the race win. We'll see. It's going to be just 17 to go. I mean, Pocono, Brian Keselowski and David Rudiman lead the field to green. But Kyle Busch, look at this on the bottom. Going to get way ahead of the 92, send Tyler Reddick way back through the field, and is going to jump way up ahead in the race. If I'm not mistaken, that is, right, 52 minus 35. 17 to go. Oh no! Travis Kvapil up in the wall. Big crash here in turn 2. And his teammate also in it, David Gilliland, Carl Edwards, also brought into it. 2 contenders for the win. They're all brought up. Oh, I see what happened here. Bayne just barely survives. Okay, let's analyze this. We have to really analyze it. So, into turn 2, they tried to go 4 wide. Gilliland thought didn't know if he was clear of the 38, his teammate, or not. Sends Trevor Bayne way down. This somehow chain reacts to, let's see how that connects to, oh no, this is a completely separate incident. Carl Edwards was just on the bumper of the 38. Kind of stayed too close. That's going to put them in the wall. And then when Gilliland, with his contact with Trevor Bayne, he came up with Robbie Gordon, last week's winner, Stevie Wallace as well. 2 win contenders. That 5th win of the season has just been sneaking away from Carl Edwards week in and week out. No matter what, he can't seem to put it together. And an unfortunate moment. If we look, Carl Edwards' last win was in Charlotte. He could have won and he can't. He just snuck away. And now it's sneaking away yet again. The only contender really being Tyler Reddick. He's the only one that can really put up the fight against Kyle Busch. Of course, if Trevor Bayne can make his way through the field and have a well-timed caution, maybe in an overtime, he can also win the race. But I find it incredibly unlikely for the 21 for the circumstances to play out like that. So, as we are one lap to green here in Pocono, JJ Yaley has blown an engine. Unexpectedly, JJ Yaley has a fatal mechanical problem. He's going to be headed down pit road under the green flag. The 46 in his 7th... No, I didn't say that. I didn't say 6-7. But the 46 in his 7th start will not finish. It's his first DNF of the season, actually. He has 0 DNFs. Out of the 6 starts he's made this season, he's finished in all of them. So at least there's that. At least they're a bit consistent when it comes to finishing races. They even won a race. They won Atlanta, if we remember that clearly. And so here comes the pace car with Kyle Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya behind. Montoya could sneak away with the win with the right circumstances, but in turn 1, it's going to be Kyle Busch who will lead his row and the entire field back to the green flag in Pocono for hopefully the final 12 laps of this race. Hopefully no more big incidents like that. Current retirements: Robbie Gordon, Carl Edwards, Travis Kvapil, Greg Biffle, JJ Yaley now, Marcos Ambrose, Tony Stewart, and the 83 of who's the 83? Who's the 83? Brian Vickers. But good run for the 18. A clean green flag start, clean restart. Montoya on the 18's tail. He's not quite letting him get away. Is that a bend on the 18's bumper? It is. It's the 18's car, not... Oh, wait, no. That's just the hand of the M&M. Never mind. This car's in perfect condition. I thought maybe he, even with damage, snuck away. Look at this. Kurt Busch has snuck his way back into the top 5. If he can score a top 5 or even a win after that harrowing crash in Kansas, that is going to be more than enough for Penske Racing. It's going to be more than satisfactory here. And look at this. Juan Pablo Montoya trying to pass Kyle Busch as he stays ahead heading into turn 3. But on older tires, you want to have the outside. Now he's got Paul Menard behind him, the Richard Childress 27, but Menard is going to want to get his own piece of the... He's going to want to get his own taste of success there. In a turn 1, Paul Menard on the inside. Good run for the 27. But again, those older tires, you're just gonna want to have the outside more. Kurt Busch and Tyler Reddick slowly closing in on the leaders. They're looking to threaten Kyle Busch's lead and his win in Pocono. He can do it. They can do it. I know they can. They have the speed. They have the cars. Especially Kurt Busch. He's qualified well this season. One of the few drivers to score a pole over Trevor Bayne. has competed for wins and stage wins in the past. He can absolutely put it together today. He just needs to push. He needs to put his foot in it. As Juan Pablo Montoya, in turn 1, wants to pass Kyle Busch, tries to pass Kyle Busch. He's super close on the back straightaway, but you just want to have that draft here at the Tricky Triangle. Regardless, he gives it an aggressive, egregious send into turn 2. And it looks like he's actually nailed the lead there. Kyle Busch is faltering at the last moment under pressure. Kyle Busch is looking to falter. Tyler Reddick gets by. Juan Pablo Montoya in the lead. And they're 4 wide. For just a moment, Kurt Busch sneaks by Tyler Reddick. And they're going to look to catch Juan Pablo Montoya. A good pass by the 42 puts the 18 back in 5th place. Up from 1st. Bobby Labonte out of nowhere is now in the mix. Trevor Bayne as well. This has potential to be a thriller. If we see maybe a poorly timed caution for the end, we're going to hit add laps for green-white checkers. Kurt Busch could catch the 42 very easily. He has the speed. Kyle Busch, his brother, going to go down the inside, pass Bobby Labonte, look to pass Tyler Reddick. As he almost makes it. These 3 are showing some good speed here. In particular, Reddick with a deep send on Kurt Busch. It's going to sacrifice his exit speed, though, just a bit. But it is a worthy trade-off. As now Reddick may work with the 22, may pass the 22. It depends on his goal. But into turn 1, no, Reddick can't quite get it done until they head into turn 1. He's going to push Kurt Busch wide. A good run onto the back straightaway. This is getting very tense. Juan Pablo Montoya, the Chip Ganassi 42, is under a lot of pressure right now to perform. Kyle Busch, though, not letting Reddick get by just yet. His brother Kurt gonna go to the bottom. He says, hey brother, I'm gonna work with you. But never mind, we're gonna send it 3 wide into turn 3. Kyle Busch and everybody 3 wide. But all this fighting, all this tussling is just letting Montoya get away with it. And into turn 1 yet again. They can't catch him. They keep fighting each other. Instead of trying to work together to catch the leader and fight for the win. They're all being greedy for points. Of course, none of these guys are in the championship hunt. The only one being Trevor Bayne up here in the top 10. A win here could actually, or even just a good finish here, in comparison to where Carl Edwards is, could boost him to just be a couple points behind the 99 in the standings. Yeah. Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick have just 4 more laps of the tricky triangle to try to catch Juan Pablo Montoya. Montoya has 4 more laps to try to defend the Joe Gibbs duo. And Busch looking to actually maybe do it here. He's getting close to the 42. We're going to come to the line and see what the margin is exactly. Coming to this 3 to go. The margin has been cut in half by the 18. So, he's making some hard work on the 42. They're right up on his bumper now. Juan Pablo Montoya has put up an incredible defense up until this point. But so long as Tyler Reddick doesn't spoil it for Kyle Busch, he could take the win here. I think it's just going to take one more run down turn 3 for the 18 to fully encapsulate the speed he needs onto the front straightaway. And into turn 1, now with just 2 laps to go at the tricky triangle in Pocono. Oh no, caution may fly. Caution is out. Caution is out. Dale Jr. on the back stretch. Caution comes out. And it's gonna be overtime in Pocono. But who can get to the lead? Coming back to the line, Dale Jr. with a huge mechanical problem. Looks like he got involved in another crash. But, yeah, there he is. Caution as the leaders come by. And they're gonna race back to the line. And it's gonna be overtime. As Juan Pablo Montoya leads Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick to the yellow flag. And it is overtime in Pocono for Dale Jr. Now, the question is, what actually happened to Dale? No idea what happened to the 88. Did he get caught up in another accident that we maybe didn't catch, or did he just straight up blow up? That's the question. I think he may have just straight up blown up. No! There was an incident in turn 1 with David Rudiman that put the 88 in the wall, and that will end Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s day. Now, this is where things get interesting. Do you see that? David Reagan is also blowing up. The Roush number 6. He actually just straight up blew up. Like, his engine just blew up into turn 1. Yeah, his car failed into turn 1. As we are 1 to green in Pocono. Man, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. No one comes down pit road. It's too close to the end of the race. No one is gonna take that kind of a risk. Kyle Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya tussled in these last few laps with Tyler Reddick and Kurt Busch in the mix. Along with Bobby Labonte and Trevor Bayne trailing by. Maybe Trevor Bayne can make a last lap pass for the win. Starting on the outside, though, it's unlikely. And, wow, we got super lucky with that caution. And so now here, oh man, but Tyler Reddick's on the bottom. Tyler Reddick could get the win. Busch is on the outside. This has some mad potential. Only time will tell. It's going to be overtime in Pocono. Kyle Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya lead the field back to the green flag for overtime in Pocono. That's a good run from Tyler Reddick down to the bottom of the racetrack. On the inside of Juan Pablo Montoya, Kyle Busch gets away with the lead. Reddick now on the bottom. looking to get a run on the back straightaway. Bobby Labonte behind. Busch now in the lead for the race win. It looks like it's going to be his. They're 3 wide behind. They're 3 wide behind. Bill Elliott and Trevor Bayne make contact. Caution. Trevor Bayne and Bill Elliott wreck out of it. Hard hit for the 21. Unbelievable. And another hit for Joey Logano. Trevor Bayne looked like he could have gotten it done. Another overtime. In Pocono, that will be the second overtime attempt out of 3. It's a big crash. Lots of cars out of the race. Let's look back. I knew something would happen with all this 3-wide push for the win. The rubber band is just, it's snapping. Look at that. Matt Kenseth even made contact with Dave Blaney. That's the contact with Trevor Bayne. Big contact with Brian Keselowski, Joey Logano, among others. That's Michael Waltrip in it. Stevie Wallace is up in the wall way back here. There was another crash back here. I saw. Look. So these two made contact, but nothing came out of that. Wallace behind them, though. And yeah, big hit for the 80. And that's going to bring out, I think, the 6th or 7th caution out today. Certain cars run out of fuel. They've been trying not to take too much fuel today. It's finally running them dry. Staying off of pit road is finally running the cars dry. Kyle Busch now sits with just the competition of Bobby Labonte. But of course, there is a chance, there's always the opportunity for a car to run out of fuel. And, you see, like, as AJ Allmendinger, he's run out of fuel on the green flag lap. And Kyle Busch sits with Bobby Labonte behind him. This will be the second overtime attempt, if I'm not mistaken, right? Right, yeah, this was first restart. And then the caution came out. So this will be the second overtime attempt. Every tick box is checked off in better cautions. It's the rubber band effect. These guys, they're just really struggling. Here's AJ Allmendinger. Look at this. Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski are up here. And 4 beloved drivers. Well, 3. But 4 beloved drivers. Racing under a blanket for the win. And as the pace car makes its way onto pit road, Kyle Busch will run out of fuel and be called back down to pit road at the last moment. That means that Jimmy Johnson will sift up to the lead with just 2 laps to go. Many cars running out of fuel. It's all up to Jimmy Johnson to fend off Brad Keselowski, along with Paul Menard. The 48, the fabled 48, up in the lead as they are pushing hard behind. Oh no! And no caution for AJ Allmendinger on the bottom. But they make contact up here. I believe it was David Gilliland and Terry Labonte. And Jimmy Johnson off of turn 3 The white flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Jimmie Johnson. There's no turning back now. The white flag flying. It's only Brad Keselowski's win to take from the 48. They're charging hard. Yellow flag flying for all the cars that remain without fuel, but it is just too late as the white flag has already been taken. Jimmie Johnson, the number 48 for Hendrick Motorsports. He's been running back of the field all season, finally put it together, and today in Pocono, Jimmie Johnson is going to come to the win in the William Penn 325. An unbelievable race in Pocono, a thriller, unexpectedly gives us none other than a Jimmie Johnson win. We are on standby as we wait for the final cars to cross the line. And there we are. Jimmie Johnson wins. These are your official standings. Lots of retirements late in the race. Unbelievable. And as the pace car circles the circuit, Pocono can be emptied. There are no longer any other cars on track other than the pace car. Thank you for watching HAZCAR. As tired as I am, I wanted to put this together tonight so we could run the Cup Series tomorrow. I still have to do the Cup points from Kansas, but I wanted to put this together for y'all. Just because it means that much to me. Like, I'm not going to have time next weekend at all to put the COT race on that Saturday. I'll try to fit it in on Friday. I'll have to see, but it's going to be Michigan, so that should be fun. So yeah, thank you for watching HAZCAR. I will see you all tomorrow for the Cup Series.